Are you there? Good.
I am here.
Oh, excellent. Well, we're just a tad early, but not by much. This is Kelly Coates Gilbert from Dallas, Texas, and you are live on She's Reading with Kelly Coates Gilbert. And tonight we have a wonderful guest. I met Sheila last year. We went to New Orleans, and we went to a place called Book Lovers Convention, and it was a blast. Think about hundreds and hundreds of readers, librarians, authors, editors, acquisition people, booksellers, all in one place. We had a ball, and we were fortunate enough to be on a panel together, a women's fiction panel, and we giggled and had the best time. So I knew that I was going to try to reach out to Sheila to see if she would come and have some fun with us here at She's Reading, and she graciously agreed. So let me tell you just a little bit about Sheila before I actually turn it over to her. Sheila Roberts is a USA Today best-selling, prolific author of stories dear to women's hearts. She's written over 30 novels about family, friends, and chocolate. Her books have been made into both Lifetime and Hallmark movies. And here's a little bit about what her readers say on her reviews. I just picked out some words that I saw. These words were repeated over and over and over again in her reviews. Charming, irresistible, hopeful, comforting, unexpected, delightful. And here was an often repeated phrase in her reviews: I can't wait for the next book in this series. So please help me welcome Sheila. And tonight you will not be seeing live chat box come up because we're broadcasting from Zoom onto Facebook Live. But you guys post your comments, post your questions, and just like before, Sheila will come on and when the live ends, and she'll answer your questions, I'll answer your questions, and we'll do it that way. So Sheila, it's nice to see you again.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited. I mean, I'm telling people this time has been torture for us extroverts. I'm like, so Zoom has been and Facebook have been my lifesavers, because that way at least I can hang out with people and have a chance to party a little bit and meet new readers. And Kelly and I were just talking before we started this about how frustrating it is, because so many of our conventions and conferences have just, dropped along the way. I was really whining because the Book Lovers Convention for this year was going to be in Nashville, and that is like my mecca. I love that city. Before I became a writer, I wanted to be a songwriter, and I still dabble in that, but I am a country music girl. I had my cowgirl boots ready, and I was going to be line dancing at the Wild Horse and going to concerts at the Bluebird, and maybe hitting up some publishers and dyeing my hair even darker to pretend I'm 30. So I was like crushed when this didn't happen.
And so I know, and you and I would have worn our cowboy hats, because a few people know that I grew up in a small town over by Sun Valley, Idaho, on a sheep ranch, and I used to rodeo and barrel race and ride horses.
You like ride horses and stuff?
Oh yeah. Oh. So we should have shown up for this in our cowboy hats.
I know, and we had these cool blinky cowboy hats to give away. I'm crushed. So I lost that. I was telling her we were supposed to do, I have yet to get to Hawaii, and that's on my bucket list. And we were going to, guess what, do a cruise to Hawaii. And the embarrassing thing too, my Christmas book, we had done a couple of years ago, one of those river cruises. My husband grew up in Germany, and so we lived there when we were first married. We've made a lot of trips back over there, loved the country, and we had done one of those Christmas cruises that hits all the Christmas markets. And I did a book based on that. So this year's, how pathetic, this year's Christmas book is all about people on a Christmas cruise. And I was going to give away a little local cruise. And I remember my publicist saying, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot oar. So all these big plans, but you know what, it is what it is. And we can be thankful that we're still here. We can be thankful that we've got the Zoom. And
yes.
So like you said, the glass isn't just half empty, it's still half full.
Yeah.
So we're just going with that, right? The glass is half full.
That's right.
Life is good, and we're getting to visit. I really appreciate you inviting me on. This is so fun. We did have fun at that panel. Yeah. So
we did.
we'll be able to stay in contact better.
Yeah, I one of the things that I have so appreciated, and I know you do too, is the connection we make with our readers. They become friends, and
Yes.
I'm going to just take just a moment. I forgot to mention this to you earlier, but there is a woman who is on here tonight who was so precious. She found an error in one of my books. And that's
Oh,
always awful. We hire editors and we do everything we can, but she found an error and she let me know. And I so appreciated that because we were able to correct it and get it right back up, and so it didn't have the error in it. But she was so sweet as we talked back and forth. This is what I found in the mail today. She sent me her family cookbook. The
oh, cool.
family cookbook filled with family recipes that I'm going to be cooking. And that is the fun of being an author. Don't you agree?
Oh, yes, it is. In fact, oh, I should have had that. Oh, give me 1 second.
Grab it.
I have to model. One of my readers made this for me. It's books, my little mask.
Oh, I love
Isn't that
it.
cute? And I
That's
thought that was just so
precious.
sweet. I mean, you're right. The readers become friends, and as you develop a community. I mean, my friends on Facebook. I mean, I've never met most of them in person, but they're just like pals. You
Yeah,
know, and you get to know people, and it's just a cool thing. And so, yeah, connecting with readers, that is just a really big thing. Because without readers, well, we storytellers wouldn't have anybody to tell a story to. So
that's right.
readers are just vital, vital, vital people. Yeah.
Well, and that's why, a lot of people have said, you're so busy. Why did you start She's Reading? And I went, because I love to talk to people. And I love to talk
I'm
to
impressed
others.
that you
I
had
love
time to
talk
do this. Like,
readers.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so this is a gift to me. I hope other people enjoy it, but I sure do. I want to know a little bit about your writing journey. Tell us about when you started writing, why you started writing, and particularly most of the authors that are on She's Reading have been romantic women's fiction authors. So tell me why you selected that particular genre even.
Well, you often end up writing what you love to read. And I like to read books that are funny. One of my
Yeah.
favorite authors is Donald E. Westlake. He's dead now. How sad. I never got to meet him, but he writes about bumbling crooks. And he's hilarious. I just love him. So I think you often write, what you feel like and I do like writing about things pertaining to us women. I'm not a mystery kind of writer. I wrote, in fact, it's up on Amazon. It turned out pretty good, but the one mystery I ever wrote, I rewrote it 7 times, each time with a different bad guy. And I thought, I don't have a complicated enough brain to do this. I really don't. I am not doing mysteries. So I just happen to like to write women's fiction and things that we women deal with, because that's what's important to me. So
Life. Yeah.
and plus, I think the importance of writing about what I always try to research, and the other advantage, once upon a time, under a different name in a different life, I wrote historical things. And I'm just a bad researcher. I would try to do my research. Every book, there'd be something later on, oh, that's not right. And, and that's not a good thing. Writing contemporary things, I can talk to living people and say, how does this work? So like for the book that's out right now, what the heck is that book?
Beachside Beginnings?
The beach. What is that?
Beachside Beginnings.
Yeah, thank you. I'm losing my marbles here. That one, there's a cop has a pretty big part in it, and down at our own little Moonlight Harbor, Ocean Shores, the police down there are just really nice. They're very involved with the community. They're very careful in how they interact with the community. And one of them, I did a ride along with him. He was so nice, and he was kind of like my personal little consultant. I'd send him scenes and go, okay, is this right? And what about this? And what about? And he was just wonderful. And so being able to have a living person to talk to, that just makes a lot of difference. The hotel managers have talked to me down there, and all kinds of people. It's just really helpful to be able to go right to the horse's mouth, so to speak, and get information. So that's why I like to write.
You always know you wanted to be a writer, or were you something in a prior life?
I was always writing. I was writing stories. I was writing stories and making up songs. That's what I do. As a little kid, I can still remember my poor 3rd grade class being captive while they had to listen to Sheila's latest story. And my last name before I became who I am was Moyle, and I think it was either my 3rd or 4th grade teacher. She was very good at spotting kids' giftings. And one time she, for Halloween, she became a fortune teller, and she had written out a little fortune for every single student. And mine was, so you're studying Moyle in school, my son. I knew her well when she was young. And I always wished I'd hunted her down and said, guess what? I really am a writer now. But so it was just something I just loved to do. And I remember reading somewhere that often the things that you like doing as a kid are an indication of what you'll be doing as a grown-up. You know, like some kids, they order and they like to organize their room and everything, and they're your future administrators, or they love playing on the computer, or, you know, whatever it is. Sometimes those are what you end up doing, you know.
Well, I grew up on a sheep ranch, like I said, and my summer chores and how I earned my money to put myself through college was I had to bale hay. And that means you get on a machine and you know, you go up and down those fields very slowly, and the machine just goes chug, chug. It is the most boring thing, except for those hay haulers. Sometimes they're kind of cute, but but I would actually take my daddy's duct tape and I would tape books to the steering wheel, and then I would flip them and chug, 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 and read up and down the fields. And do you remember when Kathleen Woodowis came out with her Flame in the Flower?
Oh boy, yeah, everybody, except for, I think I'm the only person who never read that book, but that's like the gold standard for romance. Everybody read that book at one point.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I was going to name my first daughter Heather Brianna. And I was going to name, you know, if I had a boy, it was going to be, you know, Captain Brandon Birmingham.
Captain. Call me Cap for short. Well, that's funny. So I'd be interested, as our readers are posting, to hear who got them started on their reader's journey. You know, who was it that started you out becoming whatever you're into now with your favorite books? I know my journey as a young woman started with Georgette Heyer, and I just gobbled everything in the library. And it's so funny. I can remember looking, you know, you look at the list of books and going, what? She only wrote 22 books? And you think, well, back then, I mean, that's a book a year. That was a long career span, but greedy readers.
Typewriter. I mean, yeah, there was no computers then. I can't even imagine, you know, Gone with the Wind, you know, pluck, pluck, pluck.
Oh, and I think, and I can't remember that story. I think Lot was written longhand, and whoever she had brought it to, there were all these just pages in a suitcase. And just look at that, and you go, no wonder she only wrote one book. But
I grew up over by Sun Valley, and you know, some people know this, but Ernest Hemingway had a home there, and in fact, that's where he ended his life.
I didn't know that.
Sun Valley. In room 26 of the Sun Valley Lodge is where he wrote For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Oh my gosh.
And my cousins were his pallbearers at his funeral. And so my books, the Sun Valley series, they open at the Ernest Hemingway Memorial. And you know, so it's so interesting to look back and you know, these authors who shaped literature and how we read and the stories because stories do have incredible power, don't they?
Oh, they do. And speaking of, what was the first book in your series, in case somebody hasn't read it?
Oh, Sisters. Yeah.
Sisters?
And it's free. They everyone knows they can download the first one free.
That's very cool. Yeah. That's a good deal.
So it's a nice way to start the series for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I see that you have some series. One of the things that I adore, especially in the summer, is to read beach books. And you have books that take you away. In fact, I think your last series said that if you want to escape to the seaside escape. And so you have two different series that are set at beaches. Is that right?
I have one they're both based on real towns. The Icicle Falls one is in the mountains, and that's based on Leavenworth, Washington, which is a little.
I love Leavenworth.
Yeah, it's designed. It's like a mini Germany, and the people. It was on the verge of becoming a ghost town. And in the early 60s, some of the founding fathers, you know, didn't want to be the last ones turning out the lights. And so somebody had, you know, been in Germany and said, look, this is just like an Alpine village. Let's just make it into one. And they redid all their storefronts. They just went for it and went with that theme.
Christmas.
And I love it. One of them said, I was talking to one of the people there once, and he said, yeah, and we did it all without any government assistance. They just did it themselves, built this town. Thousands of people visit that place, you know, and so that I just love that town. So that was the Life in Icicle Falls series. And then the Moonlight Harbor series, that's based on Ocean Shores, Washington, which is a fun little funky beach town. They call themselves a city, but I don't know. To me, it's like small town. Maybe it's because it's such a friendly atmosphere, but that's what Moonlight Harbor is based on. So I've got got something for everyone. I've got the mountains and I've got the beach, but I'm loving doing the beach books. Those are just a lot of fun. And I love being at the beach. We've got a little place down there and we go down there. We're, about to take off and be down there for the summer here in just a few days. And just love it. And so a lot of the things that you see, they've got one of the stores in the series is called Something Fishy, and it's based on the tourist store. The entrance to this tourist store is like a giant shark mouth. So you walk through the shark mouth to go in the store. I mean, it's just fun. There's so much fun down there. So I love Ocean Shores.
And your recent series is also a beach series, though, isn't it?
That's the one. Those are the only two series. Oh, I did do another series way back before. I forgot about that. That was Heart Lake. That was with St. Martin's Press. I did some books set in Heart Lake. I forgot about Heart Lake. So yeah, you're right. So that waterfront there, lakeside. But
anyway. Sweet covers. If you guys like to read Debbie Maycumber, Cheryl Woods, Rayanne Thane, you will love Sheila Roberts. I adore Sheila's books.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, it's just fun. Isn't it fun to be able to get to do what we love for a living? It's just really a blessing. I try not to ever take that for granted because I love being able to write. I keep saying, oh, I'm just going to retire and go do whatever. And then it's like, well, yeah, but no. First of all, I don't want to become a bag lady. So there's a motivation to keep writing. And, and secondly, I just, as long as you come up with book ideas, it's like, well, let's just keep writing some more. So that's kind of where I am.
Tell our readers how you come up with your characters. What process do you use to come up with characters?
Oh boy, some of these questions are always so hard to answer because they just kind of organically happen. You'll just get an idea and go, well, this would be good.
Like me, if we go out to dinner, my husband laughs because we'll be eating, but I'm paying attention over here because there's a couple over here and they're talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My husband calls me Snoop Doggy Dog Sheila. I am just the nosiest thing on the planet. And yeah, it's like you have to be careful what you tell me because it could end up in a book. I'm probably going to, I did something similar with my book, Merry Xmas, but I'm probably going to put this in a book. I ran into a lady at Walmart. We got talking and she was older and she was living with her son. And her son had somehow, her ex, I guess, needed a place to stay. So the son brought dad in to live with them. And this lady, she's like, oh, I didn't like it when I was married to him. But now I said, may I put that in a book? And she gave me permission. So I said, okay, she's going to end up in a book, probably in another couple of books.
You make sure to let us know when that happens. That sounds good.
I know. I thought, so you just never know. Truth is stranger than fiction. And then when I did 9 Lives, I just kind of got this idea. I remember It's a Wonderful Life. It's like my all-time favorite movie. I think that's like the best movie ever. And I remember that scene where Jimmy Stewart is on the bridge. It's like, please God, I want to live. And I had this idea for a cat going, please, I just want to live. A cat on its last life. What would that be like if this poor cat had to keep his 9th life? And so it wasn't like, it just sort of, the ideas just sort of pop in there. I think they're out there in the air. And sometimes I think that's why we see people have come up with similar book or movie ideas because they're always out floating in the air. And sometimes it's just like, who grabs it first?
Yeah. And sometimes authors can tell the same kind of a story, but they're never the same.
Oh, yeah. I remember years ago being at a writer's conference and I was in a class and they gave us an assignment, write a little, a few paragraphs about, and they gave us this phrase, stinging needles of sand. Oh, I had a great time with that. I just did something so funny and silly, but you wouldn't believe all the different variations that you got from that one phrase, stinging needles of sand. So you're right. Somebody can make, in fact, this is kind of interesting to show different takes. This was several years ago. I hadn't read anything by Stephen King. And I thought I should read some Stephen King. And I hadn't seen the movie. I thought, I think I'll read Misery. That sounds kind of funny. An author gets kidnapped by a fan. That sounds like a funny book. Oh my gosh. I couldn't even finish. I was like, I can't deal with this. This is cool. I went to the end to see if he lived. And that was a funny book. Why did I think a book by Stephen King would be a funny book? I don't know, because that's what I look for is funny books. So, it's just different how different takes we take.
It's like you.
What?
Which of your characters is most like you?
Oh my. Well, Oh, Lord. I have one in the Christmas book that's coming out end of September. Don't ask me why, the end of September, but that's called One Charmed Christmas. And there's a hypochondriac in that book. And that is, I'm a hypochondriac. I am terrible. I always think I'm dying of something. I can go to, I have a hangnail to I am, dying in 2 seconds. And when I had in 2013, I had uterine cancer. And all my friends are like, oh no, of all the people that happened to, Sheila, my hypochondriac, and she gets cancer. But that was an interesting journey, and I learned a lot from that. I don't regret it. I feel like, God was good to me, and I got a lot out of that. But anyway, so circling back, I tend to wander, don't I? Wandering down the money trail, circling back to the hypochondriac, there was a lot of me in her. She had it good. You look and you go, okay, I see why she's a hypochondriac. For me, I can't even point to anything to explain why I'm a hypochondriac. My poor husband, he's like, you are going to make me nuts. You're make me nuts. Every little thing, I have to call the doctor 8 times about something. And he's like, stop.
You're probably on the internet on WebMD constantly, huh?
I am. WebMD is the hypochondriac's friend. I went in it was about a week ago. I was in the emergency room because I was sure I was getting a kidney infection. No, it was just a sore muscle. I'm so embarrassed. I'm going, what can I do for this? And the doctor's going, Advil and heat. Oh, you are not dying. But I've had some weird heart things over the years. And then you feel guilty going in because they're going to know you're a hypochondriac, and they say, why are you going to hear? That did turn out to be real. And the last time I wound up in the emergency room, this was a while back, and a couple of years back, and I was having this rapid heartbeat. Oh, I get that off and on. Oh, I get dehydrated. Oh, I ate too much caffeine. There was always a reason. But I'd called to see if I could get a little prescription renewed at my doctor's, and they're like, and why do you want that? I said, well, I'm just having this. And she goes, well, then she goes, well, for women your age.
Oh, don't you hate that phrase?
Insult. Should we recommend that you go to the emergency room? I'm going, I don't want to go to the emergency room. So off we went, and it turned out it was something very. And I wound up, I wound up just last fall. I did a heart ablation procedure and got my faulty ticker fixed. And so now I don't have that weird stuff anymore. But I thought, how ironic. I go in, I'm positive I've got a urinary tract infection, and it's a sore muscle. But then my heart's doing something. It's like, oh, it's too much caffeine. Dr. Sheila needs to have her license revoked. I'll go into the emergency room and I say, well, here's what Dr. Sheila thinks. Do you concur? And I jokingly said that to the one doctor who I hadn't paid attention to the name on the chart. And he goes, who's Dr. Sheila? I'm like, it's me. Anyway, that's probably way TMI. Now you guys all know I'm a squirrel, but there you have it.
Is that book up for pre-sale or pre-order? Because I want to read about the hypochondriac.
She's bad. I mean, some of the stuff is me. Yeah, it is. It's up for pre-sale.
What's the name of it again?
It's called One Charmed Christmas.
Okay, everyone, you've got it. If you want to read that character,
and see Sheila. And the funny thing in that too, originally I was saying, could we have a little pretty cruise ship on the cover? Well, no, I'm so thankful they did not put a cruise ship on the cover, because I have a feeling that's got bad connotations for people for a while. It's like, no cruising.
Right, here's another question. Which of your characters do your readers love to hate?
Wow. I don't know. I don't hear too much about them hating my characters. I do hear a lot. I've got this ongoing character, Jenna Jones, who runs the local little motel, and I get a lot of email. When is she going to get her love life together? And actually, that will happen come the spring book in that series. She's going to finally figure out what she's doing. I thought, people are rushing this poor woman. She hasn't been divorced that long. She's scarred. Give her time to heal. So,
don't you love it when you get emails from readers, though, and they're so invested in the story?
I love it. I love it. It's so sweet. And I love hearing from readers. And I love it. And again, just the chit-chatting. I think Facebook is my favorite of the social medias, at least on my like page. I try not to go into controversial areas. I want there to be someplace people can come where it's just kind of happy flowers, because there's enough angst out there, there's enough anger, there's enough fighting, there's enough terror, that I think once in a while we need a place to go where it's just kind of fun, So on the Sheila Roberts like page, I try to keep it light, and we just have a good.
For all of you readers out there who have not followed Sheila on Facebook, make sure you pop over there and do it. And in the comments, every time her name is kind of highlighted, you can click that and it'll take you to her page, and then you can like her and you
Oh,
can.
who knew? See, I
So
didn't know that.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
sorry, my nose itches. This is probably really rude, itching my nose.
so that makes it easy. And then also, I'm sure you have a newsletter. So if you go to her website, it's www.SheilaRoberts.com. And there's a place to sign up for her newsletter so that you'll get notified of all her wonderful Christmas books as they come out and the rest of her series. And then every author loves to be followed on BookBub. bookbub.com, and that's a place that features discounted and free books. You get a daily email telling you about all those books, and follow your favorite authors. Then you get notified every time one of their books is on sale.
Now, are you on there?
Yep.
Are you on there?
Yep.
Okay, so they can find you on there too. I want to just quickly mention, oh, I'm sorry. I want to quickly mention on the newsletter, just so people know, it is a monthly newsletter. And I don't want people to subscribe and think just once in a while they'll hear it. It does come out monthly. It's always got a recipe of the month. It's always sponsored by whatever book, but there's some content there, but you know, you might not want a newsletter that frequently. So I like to warn people up front that it does come once a month. I took the summer off, so the next one will be coming out again in September, but just so people know. And do you have a newsletter?
I do. And people can sign up right from my website. And I am not as organized as Sheila. I send it out whenever I want to.
That's a good thing. I'm sorry.
It's not.
Yeah, saying, no, if your nose itches, you're going to kiss a fool. It's like, I think
That's right.
there must be a whole herd of fools in my future. I've got the itchiest nose. How rude.
Here's a question. Can be a very isolating business. Tell me what you do to create an author writing tribe. Who are your peeps that you hang with?
Wow. I've got both author and non-author friends. I've got friends I've known. One of my best friend I've known for 20 years. In fact, we did a high school reunion thing too, and all my old Bluebird buddies, we still try and stay in touch. So I've got that. I do a lot. My social life, because I am an extrovert, I fit my writing in around my social life. So there's line dancing, there's tennis, there's walks with friends, and I just really think it's important to stay connected, you know, with your girlfriends. And I think that's really one of life's biggest treasures. So I have that, and then I have my writing buddies. Some of my besties are Susan Wiggs and Debbie Maycomber and Kate Breslin, and so some really wonderful authors, and Melinda Curtis, who is hilarious. Have you met Mel yet? No. You need to meet her and have her. She is just really nice. She's great fun. So there's her.
Pacific Northwest as well.
Pardon?
Does she live in the Pacific Northwest as well?
She just moved out to Oregon. So she's in the Pacific Northwest, but there's also Nancy Nagel. Have you hung with Nancy yet?
Yes.
Because you girls are both cowgirls.
Well, and Nancy was on the panel with us. Do you remember?
Oh, that's right. I forgot. See, short-term memory or long-term memory loss.
And then Nancy came out to Dallas and stayed with out here, and we went to Magnolia table out in.
Oh, I remember that now, because I saw that post and I was so jealous and wanted to be with you guys. I remember now.
Yeah, we had fun. Nancy's a walking party.
Oh yeah, she is a hoot. She is just I just love her. And yeah, you girls are kind of cut out of the same piece of cloth, you little cowgirls, you.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're one of us. I mean, you were having all the cowboy fun.
I'm a cowgirl wannabe.
So we've been on here about a half an hour, and so I want to. We're going to do two things. I'm going to shoot a whole bunch of what I call the rapid fire questions, where it's just this or this, and then you say which one, which will give a little insight to the readers as to who you are. And then just before we wrap up, I'm going to let you talk about a giveaway that you are offering tonight and the process to be entered into that. So are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. These are my rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Pie or cake?
Cake.
Beer or wine?
Neither.
Neither. Tell the 7-Up or Coca-Cola.
Yeah, or a virgin pina colada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, dawn or sunset?
Sunset, because then I'm awake.
Yeah. Swimming or walking?
How about dancing or volleyball or tennis?
Okay. Beach or mountains?
Wow, that's hard. But right now, beach.
Okay. Cook or takeout?
Bake and take out.
Okay. Campground or resort?
Resort. Roughing it is when the motel pool is not heated.
And the last one, flowers or massage?
Both.
Yeah,
Can I have
both.
both?
Yes, I think we get to pick both. All right, Sheila, this has been fun. Tell the readers about tell us about your giveaway and then how they can enter.
Okay, well, first of all, I have, because so many of our events were canceled, and when I do book signings and appearances, I like to give away these little personalized recipe cards. My street team is always the first to get them, but they have the cover of the book, and then on the back is the recipe. This one happens to be for tuna roll-ups, which this recipe has been around since like the 70s, but it's really good, and it's a fun little luncheon dish that you can serve. So I just randomly, I'll pick 25 names to get that as a party favor. And then because we are at the beach, let's go ahead. I'll pick a name and I'll send you some saltwater taffy, not from Moonlight Harbor. We're going to do it from Amazon because shipping is free. But it will be, it kind of came from Moonlight Harbor. So we'll pick somebody to win some saltwater taffy.
Great, great. Okay, so the way this is going to work then is all of you that are here tonight or later, we're going to post this. So if you even missed the live event and you watch it later, you can post a question or a comment. Sheila will answer, and then she's going to pick the winners out of those comments. So you'll want to comment. And then, shall we say tomorrow morning, you'll announce the winner. And Sheila is now a member of She's Reading, so she'll just go in there and post, and I'll approve it, and she'll announce who the winners are. And then you can work with Sheila directly to get your prizes to you, whether she needs your address or email address or whatever she needs. So
yeah, they can, if they see their name posted, they can just message me through Facebook, and we'll communicate that way and get ourselves organized. So, but this has really been great fun. I just appreciate so much you having me on, and appreciate everybody taking time from their own, even though a lot of us are still not going much of anywhere. We're busy, aren't we? Most women, even if we're home, we're still busy. So I appreciate people taking time to talk to me, and I appreciate you doing this, Kelly. It's been really fun.
Yeah, it has been. And don't forget to go check out Sheila's catalog of books. Follow her on Facebook, BookBub, and then pre-order that book that's coming out that has the Laundry Act. I know I'm going to. So
oh, you're sweet.
Thank you very much, and we'll be talking to you later. And Sheila, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. It was wonderful. I appreciate it.
If you see Debbie Maycumber, you tell her
I'm going to tell her what I was doing.
Yeah, you tell her I said hi. All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye. Bye, everybody.